Scientist now, I'm Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome! It is time to continue my discussion on the history of Magic the Gathering, where I go set by set, product release by product release that Wizards has put out, going over some history, basic information, important cards from that, and various mechanics you might want to know about as they've been released by Magic the Gathering, by Wizards of the Coast. Alright, so for today I have for you Duel Decks! Divine vs. Demonic. This is the third of the Duel Decks series, and it was released on April 10th, 2009, at a cost of, retail cost of $20. Now, it was reprinted with the new updated card frames in December of 2014 for the Duel Decks Anthology. It consisted on two 60-card pre-constructed decks. One of them was themed around Angels, the Divine deck, and the other was themed around Demons, the Demonic deck. Both of them ended up being a tribal theme, similar to the Elves vs. Goblins. So the entire set was 120 cards. Now its symbol was an overlapping demon horns and halo to sort of mean the two of them together. Now it had two foil alternate art cards, one of Akroma, Angel of Wrath, and the other of Lore of the Pit. There were also 5 other cards that got alternate art treatments in this set, including Luminous Angel. In addition, this set had a Learn to Play strategy guide and 3 tokens, including the 0/1 Black Thrall token. Alright, let's talk about the cards that were in this set you want to know about. Of course, we start with Akroma, Angel of Wrath. A flying first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from red and black, who is 6/6. She's big, she's mean, she's powerful, and has a lot of ability. Luminous Angel, at 4/4 flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put a 1/1 white spirit token with flying into the battlefield. Get a spirit every turn. Sarah's Angel, 4/4 flying vigilance. It's the classic, brought back from Unlimited. It's the first big angel. It's always been around there. Rhea Dawnbringer, a 4/6 flyer, that at the beginning of your upkeep, you may return to the battlefield target creature from your graveyard. So effectively, every turn, I get a creature that's dead in my graveyard back into play. Twilight Shepherd is a flying vigilance, that when it enters the battlefield, you return from your graveyard to your hand all creature cards that were placed there this turn. So if a whole bunch of things die, I play Twilight Shepherd, I get them all back into my hand. Twilight Shepherd has Persist, meaning that if should some kind of board wipe occur that drops Twilight Shepherd into the graveyard, comes back, all your other stuff's back in your hand. There, of course, was Lore of the Pit, a 7/7 flying trample that at the beginning of your upkeep, you must sacrifice a creature other than Lore of the Pit. If you cannot, Lore of the Pit does 7 damage to you. So you have to feed it other stuff or it starts smacking you for a lot of damage. Fallen Angel is a 3/2 flyer that you can sacrifice a creature to give it +2/+1 until end of turn. You feed it a whole bunch of other creatures to get Fallen Angel really big, really quick. Kuro, Pit Lord, is a 9/9. At the beginning of your upkeep, you have to sacrifice Kuro unless you play 4 black mana. And you can pay 1 life to Kuro to have target creature get -1/-1 until end of turn. You can use Kuro to shrink things into oblivion. Promise of Power has you can do one of the following. You can either draw 5 cards and lose 5 life, or you can put a XX black flying demon token onto the battlefield, where X is the amount of cards in your hand when you played this token. You can also entwine this for 4 mana, meaning I can draw a bunch of cards, get my hand really big, put out a really big token, all in one swoop. Reviver Demon is a 6/6 flyer that if you cast it from your hand when it enters the battlefield, destroy all non-black, non-artifact creatures. They cannot be regenerated. If you cast it from your hand, it's a board wipe. Well, except for your stuff since you're playing a black deck. Abyssal Spectre is a 2/3 flyer that when it deals damage to a player, that player discards a card. So if you can figure out a way to sneak damage in other than just attacking, cause someone to discard cards. Breeding Pit, you would sacrifice at the beginning of your upkeep unless you play 2 black mana. At the beginning of your end step, you create a 0/1 Black Thrall token. You get tokens that you could sacrifice to something like Lore of the Pit. Corrupt deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of swamps you control, and then you gain that much life. You have a bunch of swamps, smack it for a lot of damage, gain that much life. Dark Ritual is the classic. It adds 3 black mana to your mana pool for 1 black mana. Back from Unlimited, of course we're reprinting it here. It's really great. Demonic Tutor. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand for 1 black mana, 1 colorless. It is the first and foremost of all tutors, and you definitely cannot have more than 1 in a deck if it's even legal to have 1 in a deck. This is the classic. It's the powerhouse. It's one of the few times it's been printed in a more modern time, and we have seen it in Duel Decks Anthology, so it does not show up very often when Demonic Tutor does, and it is powerful. Pacifism. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Fairly simple. Fairly good. Great way of just removing 1 creature from you having to worry about it. Righteous Cause. Whenever a creature attacks, you gain line life. And it's not just attacks you. If you attack, if someone else attacks, if you're playing a multiplayer game and someone attacks one of your other opponents, every time something attacks, you gain a life. Per creature attacking. So the more creatures attacking, the more life you gain. Bam. And finally, Soot Imp. When a player plays a non-black spell, that player loses 1 life. So if you keep casting non-black spells, you keep losing life. It encourages people to only play black, or to die very quickly. You're probably going to make an enemy by playing this, but it's fun. It's fun, but enemies. But that's it for today. I introduced you to yet another Duel deck. One that's interesting because we see a couple of older Legacy Morph cards. Serra Angel, Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor. Cards that we don't see very much more in this modern day, and this is getting very close to now. Consider this is 2009, and even then we have a reprint of it in 2014. Not far off from when I'm making and putting out this video. You have to consider that these are powerful cards still from the early days that we still think about, even now, when it comes to our decks. They're that good. They still have a place. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. If you've either played with the Divine and Demonic Duel decks, or if you've made some kind of Angel or Demonic deck of your own, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories of all the various decks and games you've played. Regardless, though, until the next time, I bid you farewell.